So now we're going to do a transformation from robot to base mode. So what I like to do, because it's easier, take the head, disconnect it. It's on a keyed setup, so when it's sideways you can pull the head off. Set that to the side for right now. Next thing I like to do is take off this, which I'm calling the chopsticks and all the instructions and everything. So the way this works is it's T-slot, T-tab kind of thing, and there's an opening there, so you get the opening in, and then you can slide it down and lock it in place. And the reason for it looking like this is a lot of these parts are used multiple times to greatly reduce complex pain. So the next thing I like to do is I like to start taking the limbs apart. So you'll see screw heads, and there's a screw head on the side of each joint. You pull the screw heads down on both sides and then pull them apart. That's pulling the screw head down opens up the latch. It's a spring-loaded latch, which if you're one of the ones that printed it, you will see how that mechanism works. But it's the same way. Okay, and now what we can do is take this piece, flip it up. Probably also a good idea right now to go ahead and put the cannons down. And now that that's done, you can slide this up, slide it out, and that's how that comes apart. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to start putting these pieces back together. So these are the lower legs. They connect together. Then you hinge the feet back up, or toes back up. And again, since everything's hardware, you can always tighten things back up or loosen things up as you need. Go ahead and do this. To be the grid and fids and super heavy. They're hinged for transformation, but you can do with as you please. And we'll put that off to the side for right now. We'll come back here to the claw. This was one hand and this was the other hand. We're going to take the claw, and I like to just collapse the fingertips first. Get them all nice and tight back to where they're supposed to be. And then they're on a double hinge, so you're going to want to go at this hinge in this piece. So you get it nice and splayed out, then rotate at the bottom hinge to bring the fingers in. Play with it around a little bit, squeeze things down. Then take your other hand, connect it. So now we're going to take this is our hip assembly, we're going to straighten that back out. We're going to take the shoulder assembly, straighten that out. Now we're going to take our hip and shoulder assembly, we're going to connect them together. Alright, now this is going to be interesting. I'm going to put these aside. Alright, now this brick, it has a lot of stuff going on, so you're going to first open up the panels. I'd suggest laying it down because now you got to disconnect this zigzag piece, these zigzags. That's how they lock together to hold on to each other equally. Collapse all four. And you're going to take the tower, or what? Well, it'll be the tower in a bit. Start rotating that around. Take this, collapse that way, collapse that way. As you bring this up, you'll see a cutout there, a tab there. So you'll try to line those up and then lock it down and then turn it. So this hinge is out towards front. You'll know you're right because this corner will be in a point towards the center of this hinge. So that, well, actually, you probably want to do this next. So now you'll take the tower, lay it over, and now you can see how much tower there really is in here. Unfold all this. Alright, so now what we're going to do, we're going to take some of these panels, have interlocking tabs, and the design will get tweaked, but at least this will give a good video. And you just keep on connecting those together. Then once you do that, this is where it gets really tall. You're going to turn around, and you'll notice that that interlocking tab, these are the same pieces, so that makes it easier for parts. That piece will go in the groove there. And I'd recommend just getting it to a point where it'll stay upright, because as you can see, it's empty inside, so we can put all of this. So this guy go in here. I'm improving the design on that, so it should be better for your guys' copy. And get it into place. Now we can start closing this up. And there's a tab here, cut out here, to line those up. Squeeze them in. They should squeeze in pretty good. Then go up 3 of the panels. And you may have to turn the core to get pieces to line up and fit in, because everything's pretty snug in there. Everything's locking together pretty good this time. So now what we're going to do, keep that open. So we can take our head, I made changes so there's a little bit more room to work with for the final version that everyone's going to be getting. Okay, there's a tab on here, and like I said earlier, there's that interlocking tab again. So we're going to put this tab through that cutout. May have to tweak how things are just to get everything to fit. Like I said, there should be enough joints to get everything where it needs to go. Everything nice and squozen, as a fun YouTuber would say. Now we take this, which was our wings. Now, we slide this on. So one other thing to show. There is a version where there's this little tab that sticks out. So it can go in these slots. Now there is versions where these are completely smooth, so it's up to you which ones you end up printing. But that gives an extra way to lock things together if you want to hold this carriage in certain positions. So we just get this nice and wiggle around. And then if we want, we can then tab it in so it's nice and locked. Now we can take our booster, put that in its home, take our starship, and there we go.